All right, guys, as you know, the Trek Remedy 8 is discontinued. And if you didn't know, now you know. But that means Trek will no longer be making these bikes. So if you want the Trek Remedy 8, you got to either buy used or hopefully you can find one new somewhere, or they still have some on the website. But even though it's discontinued, I decided to buy this bike anyway. And I want to tell you guys why. So as you guys know, this bike is a few years older, so it's not up to date as far as the current bikes that are out. But I've always been drawn to this Trek Remedy 8 ever since I started mountain biking. When I first saw a full suspension bike, the Trek Remedy was always the one I wanted. So when I saw it was $4,000, I was like, that's a little too much money. I don't really like to spend a whole bunch of money on the bike. I just want to be able to spend a good amount of money and get some quality parts. And I've ridden tons and tons of bikes, as you guys have seen over the 3 years on my channel. And after all those bikes, I've still been drawn back to this. So I know what kind of bike I like to ride, and I know what kind of riding I like to do. So this video is to help you guys. If you guys like a bike, but you're kind of getting talked away from it, saying, oh, but this has this and this, and it's up to date and everything like that, but you still like the one that you like, I want to help you guys fight all that noise out and choose what you like, not what someone else likes. Now, if you've been following the channel a while, you know I like to ride hardtail. So when I'm trail riding, I like to ride my Trek Roscoe 9 most of the time. But the reason I got this Trek Remedy is because I wanted to have more fun. I wanted to jump. I could do all that with the Trek Roscoe 9, but you can't jump and be nimble as much as you can with this Trek Remedy 8. So I decided I wanted to get a little bit more capable bike that can handle the downhill parks. And when I saw this Trek Remedy 8 for sale, I was like, I gotta pick that up. And I didn't even think there were any still brand new. So when I saw this in the bike shop, I was able to get this bike for $2,700 brand new out of the Trek shop, down from $4,200. I couldn't pass that up. Now, do I regret getting the Trek Remedy 8 over something else that's more modern? Not at all. I love this bike. I haven't had any second thoughts about it at all. So I love it, and I want you guys to know, if you have your mind set on something and you really want it, you should just go for it, no matter what anybody says. And now, a lot of people talk about geometry and this and that. I've never talked about a seat tube angle, a head angle, or anything like that, because that's not something I'm really interested in, and I'm not even gonna act like I know what I'm talking about. So I just get on a bike. If I like it, I ride it. If it don't feel right, I don't ride it. Such as the Specialized Status. So I had that bike, and I liked it going downhill, but going uphill, I didn't like it. And I didn't like it in the turns or anything like that either. I really like jumping it too. The turns and climbing with that, I really didn't like it. So I'm the kind of person where I gotta ride it and feel it out. And if I like it, I like it. I don't, I don't. Maybe it'll cut it down and make it easier if I knew the numbers and all that, but I'm a more feel kind of person, not just numbers. No, trust me, I know a lot of this matters, but to me, I just like to have fun, so I want to get something that I enjoy, that fits my riding style, and I just ride it and have fun. But a little bit of backstory, if you guys been around the channel a while, you know I used to ride the Trek Roscoe 7, the older version that was a 27.5. Now, I think that's why I really love this bike so much, because this is pretty much like a full suspension version of the older Trek Roscoe 7, and I really love that bike. I love how nimble it is. I like to jump, I like to do wheelies, I like to do a lot of things. So this bike is short, it's nimble, and I feel like the newer bikes are just kind of stretched out and long, and I like a shorter bike, and that's the feel that this bike gives me. When it comes to modern bikes, I feel like it's perspective, because if you've been riding up-to-date bikes, every bike you get, then your perception of modern bikes is going to be different than somebody like mine, where I started on a Trek Marlin 6. So anything above that is an awesome bike. So I just love to get on any bike that I feel comfortable on, that I can control and have fun with, and fits my style of riding. This is my baby right here, guys. I can't believe some people are giving me a hard time about this. I love this bike. It's all about being happy and not having the up-to-date things every single year, man. It's just crazy how some people think that those things matter. When you're on a bike, it's simple. Get on the bike and have fun. It doesn't bother me because I'm 100% satisfied with my purchase. I just want to help you guys out that are getting pressured by other people, or even people in the stores might pressure you and say, oh, you need this, and you only need what you feel like you need. You get on the bike and you feel comfortable on it, or even the bike you already have might be good enough. You don't always need to go out and get the best bike, because if you do that, you'll never be satisfied and nothing will ever be enough. So you'll always be looking for the next best thing. And that's what I love about how I started riding. I started on a Specialized Cirrus, I think that's what you call it. It was a hybrid bike. Didn't know anything about bikes. I just went to the Trek store one day and I said, hey, I like riding bikes and I just want something with a little bit bigger tires, because those tires were skinny, and I was like, these bumps really hurt. I didn't know anything about bikes. I was just that's how I was talking. And then they said, oh, we got the perfect bike for you. Luckily, I was in a store where they actually could relate to me being a beginner biker and offered me to try the Trek Marlin 6. So I went, took it on the test ride, loved it, and I fell in love with biking ever since then, because you start off with a simple bike like that, you don't feel overwhelmed, you don't feel like the bike is too much. You just got gears, brakes, and you pedal the bike, that's it. You don't have this suspension and all this kind of crazy stuff that you gotta worry about. How do I tune this? How do I set this up? You don't wanna be worrying about that when you first get in a bike. And that's what I think a lot of people get confused with, that you have to start off like that. And I think that's why everybody should start off on a hardtail. But it took me a while to actually get a full suspension bike, go out and purchase one that I actually like, because I love hardtails, but if I want to ride the bike park, you gotta have a full suspension bike. So it's always good to have one, but I still love my hardtails, and I think you guys should get whatever makes you comfortable and don't fall for the peer pressure. But that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about, because it snowed today, couldn't ride. And I just wanted to get on here and tell you guys that just ride the bike and have fun. You worry about that other stuff later. And if you like something, go get it. Don't let anybody peer pressure you. Wherever your heart is telling you, that's what you should go with. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. Hit that like and subscribe button. And here are some clips of me riding the Trek Remedy. Yeah. Dang, I'm like overshooting everything today.